Welcome back. Let's now continue with code first main parts. What we will see in this lecture? So we'll start with modeling workflow, and after that we will continue with specifically code first modeling workflow. I'm going to tell you why you should use code first approach. After that we're going through some examples of domain classes, which are actually our models. We're going to get to know some things about DBContext class and DBSetType, and to the end I'll show you DBContext example. So modeling workflow. Basic Entity Framework supports three types of modeling workflow. We got database first, which creates models as database tables and use Management Studio or native SQL queries. We got model first, which create models using Visual Entity Framework Designer in Visual Studio. And we got code first, which is basically for writing models and combine them in DBContext with C# code. In this lecture, in this course generally, we'll review only the code first approach because database and model, they're actually now deprecated, so there is no point of reviewing them. So code first modeling workflow, how actually all that works? So we got some code first model. Now code first model is just simple C# class with some properties and fields. So that's it. We got some decimal votes, some get and set, integers, we got some strings, we got some date times, we got some knowable GUIDs, shorts, and these are just some properties. After that, we said that we got collections from some other classes and collections. So these are now things to relationships. So we're saying that one from this model contains multiple blocks, contain multiple commands and permissions. So we got our C# class. What's happening after that? Well, with some custom configuration, that's going to be generated as DBContext model builder. And here, how it actually looks like. So we got different tables with different properties. That's still inside Visual Studio. So that's in Visual Studio Designer. To the end, which is third step of code first modeling workflow, is generate tables and fields from that. So from this, which is this is some table, this is some table, this right now at which we are in some table, these are three classes for which we got three different tables. So for example, let's see if we have them. We got this one and we got this one and the current one in which we are box. And so from code we go to Visual Studio Designer generator, and after that we have generated databases together with tables and fields and properties inside SQL Server. So why to use code first? Well, writing code without having to define mappings in XML or create database models. We define objects in POCL. After that, we can reuse these models and their attributes. No base classes required, enables database persistence with no configuration, and can use automatic migrations. We're going to speak for automatic migrations in one of the next lectures. For now, we're just going to mention it. As well, we can use data annotations like key, required, string length, range, and etc. etc. So, domain classes, models. Basically, what is the model? Well, that bunch of normal C# classes, POCLs. So let's see an example. What we got? We got post answer. How to define it? So this is basically model. This class equals model, which equals to table in SQL Server. So we got the name post class, public class, post answer, and we got several properties. We got public integer post ID. We got public string content, public integer post ID, and public virtual post. Now, first we got primary key. What's primary key? Well, as you can see, we got public integer post answer ID. Basically, how IDs are mapped. We got two different options. First one is name it only ID or ID. Doesn't matter. Is it camel case or Pascal case, uppercase, lowercase, doesn't matter. So the first way of having primary key is to name it just ID. The second way is to name it name of my class ID, which in our example is post answer ID. So now, by default, Entity Framework is enough smart to actually understand that this is my primary key. We got actually third option, and the third option is, what about if it doesn't find it? Because we got some duplication with something else that contains ID. Or I don't want to name to say that this is ID. I want to say that this will be post answer number, and I will not understand it because I don't have ID. It's not like that. It's not like that. It's not like that. So it won't know that this is my primary key. So what I'm saying, well, I'm adding attribute. And what's the name of that attribute? Key. So doesn't matter how I'm going to name this. Will be this, for example, post answer number. If I have key attribute on that, then Entity Framework will know that this is my primary key. The next thing is foreign key. So obviously here we got some relation. Now we got post, which is one table, and we got post answer, which is another table. Each post, one post, can have multiple post answers. And now inside post, what I'm going to have will be iCollection from post answer. And inside post answer, I need to say that I have post ID. So each post answer contains one post. So in my case, foreign key is that post ID. How I'm defining it? Well, thanks to virtual for lazy loading and navigation property. To have foreign key, I need to have two fields. The first one is public virtual, the name of the class which I'm referencing, and after that, some name. The second thing is to have another property with this name ID. So once again, my post answer class has relation to post table. So to show that it's many to one, I need to do several things. So first I need to say public integer, and for example here I can say post ID, and after that public virtual post, which is the type, and post is the name, where this thing and this should be identical. When they are identical, basically virtual will say, okay, I got post with some name. Let me look if I have the ID. So it's saying this plus ID. And of course it's not required to name it post. You can say public virtual post and something. Get set. Now how you're going to map it to your ID? Well, you're going to say public virtual post something, sorry, not virtual post, my mistake, it's integer something ID. And this will work. Because I got virtual, I got post, I got the name, which is something, and I'm looking for something ID, plus ID. Another thing, you can also use attributes. So similar to where I said here we can use key. Let's say you want to have completely different name. You keep this post, but you want this to be named something. Then what I should do? Well, then here, inside on this row, I need to add attribute. This attribute will be foreign key, and in string I'm going to give the name of the variable that I referred to. And now my post ID, which is with new name something, wants to refer to the post, to this. So I'm giving that, and it will work even with something name. We got navigation property. Navigation property is this post, because when I, for example, if I have var post answer is equal to my DB context dot, let's say, I can say dot where post answer is going to post answer dot post answer ID is equal to 2. So I want to get post answer with ID 2. And after that I'm going to say first or default, just using link. So here I'm getting post answer with ID 2. What I can say is post answer dot post. And with this dot post now I will access the post object. This is my navigation property. So with this, now I can say, for example, post answer.post.name, and I can access another, let's say, and after post I got post commands or anything like that, post likes. So you can access it. And this is basically what we say navigation property. So another example of domain class model is post. Here, what we said. So I'm having a class post, and here basically what I have. Some field I collection from post answer named answers. Inside the constructor of my post, I'm saying that this dot answer is equal to new collection from post answer. New collection, in that case, I use hash set. After that, I'm creating a virtual property which is returning this field and setting this field to provided value. Of course, I got after that something else which is totally different property, which is some type, my post type. So let's review a little bit from this code. Why I'm using hash set, and why I'm using, let's say, field, after that assign it inside my constructor, and after that do it in the property. And generally why I'm using hash set, why I don't say public virtual list post answers get set. Well, that looks cleaner, right? It looks shorter, quicker to code it. Well, yes, but with some long-term effects. When I'm using hash set, please remind what is that data structure, hash set. So let me remind you, for those who don't know, in hash set you can have only unique values, so you cannot duplicate values until in all other collections like list, like dictionary, for example, you can, okay, in dictionary you cannot have duplication of key, but let's say list or some array, you can have duplication. In hash set, you cannot. And another thing, it prevents no reference exception. So using hash set, that's prevented from duplication and no reference exceptions. So when we saw our class previously post answer, now we actually kind of get idea how to make a relation one-to-many. And of course we got navigation property. That navigation property is post answer. What I mean, I can save our post equals dbcontext dot posts dot first or default. I just want to get the first post, doesn't matter. And I can say post dot post answers. And this is my navigation property because I'm already going inside answers. It's answers because the name here is answers. And now I can say dot, for example, select. From this post answers, I would like you to select just the name. And after that, first or default. And I'll get the first answer, its name, inside this post. Okay, so far, domain classes, I hope that everything is clear. We'll continue in the next video with dbContext class.